Next time by, we will go green on the Tuscarora 50. Lance Dewease and TJ Stutts will show the way. Rico, Abreu, and Freddie Rahmer in row number 2. Chase Dietz and Logan Wagner in row 3. Row 4 is Tyler, Courtney, and Justin Whittall. Row 5, Lynch and Anthony Macri. Row 6 is Corey Day and Dylan Cisney. Row 7 is Mike Wagner and Justin Peck. Row number 8, Parker Price Miller and Zeb Wise. Row 9, Blaine Heimbach and Danny Dietrich. Row number 10, Brad Sweet and Aaron Reutzel. 11th row, Troy Wagaman Jr., Corey Eliason. Row 12, Brian Brown and Lucas Wolfe. Row 13, James McFadden, Michael Walter. And row 14, Brent Marks and Jacob Allen.
And for the final time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know, who do you think is going to park it in victory lane? Who's rooting for Dylan Cisney? What about Anthony Macri? How about Tyler Courtney? What about Logan Wagner? How about TJ Stutts? What about Lance Dewease? Well, we are about to find out, because, ladies and gentlemen, for the final time, it is time to light the fires and kick the tires here at the 56th running of the Tuscarora 50, and we are underway at Port Royal.
Off and running with the 50-lap main event. Some contact into the corner between Chase Dietz and Tyler Courtney. Everybody continues on. Lance Dewease shows the way down the back straightaway. Freddie Rahmer quickly from 4th into the 2nd spot, getting by TJ Stutts. He rounds out the top 3. Then it's Rico, Abreu, and Logan Wagner, the top 5.
Looking to go 3.
Oh, upside down, big time.
Upside down at corner number 4. The red flag is out. That is going to be the 14 of Corey Day.
And that car is mangled. Corey Day in his first ever Tuscarora 50 main event start, and gets on top of the wall, brings it back down onto the racing surface, but the car is absolutely destroyed. And we'll wait to hear word from MedStar as well as Port Royal Speedway officials and Kubota High Limit Racing officials as well. Corey Day started 11th in this main event prior to the incident. Corey Day right there as well in the thick of a very, very important championship battle with the high stakes charter system as well. Got to be in the top 5 in points, and this is going to hurt pretty bad for Corey Day when it comes to that aspect of this race. And race fans, it does sound like Corey Day is out of the car, helmet off, and he is talking with officials and walking around over there. A lot of fluid coming out of the back of that car, which they have put down some Speedy Dry-esque stuff to try and clean that up. And it's a lot down there in the 4th corner. So Corey Day has climbed from the Driven to Save Lives, number 14. But the car is going to need a lot to be repaired for the next race out at Lernerville Speedway next Friday and Saturday. Tony, I believe you're down there on the scene.
Yeah, I am. The best news is that Corey Day is up and out of that race car. First of all, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all good. I don't really know what exactly happened there. Car kind of turned right on me going down the back straightaway, and another car was coming up in front of him, and I just got trapped in a bad spot going into 3 and had no air on my wings, and unfortunately there's nothing but the wall up here. So unfortunate. I know we had a really good piece in that heat race, and just hate for my guys. Creates a lot of work for them this week. So yeah, just sucks.
Corey Day is okay. He is out of that Driven to Save Lives, number 14 BC. He talked about it. They had a really good race car in the heat, coming from outside the top 5 to race in through a transfer spot and up by the top of the wall here over in 3 and 4 where Corey Day was living during that heat race. Unfortunately, it jumps out and bites him. They will go to work at getting the Driven to Save Lives machine off the track here in turn 4.
We'll see if we can dial up a flow replay or not. He was running in the middle of the pack there, and I saw it right at the tail end. He was up on top of the wall, and Earl, here is a replay. Corey Day is going to be right there on the top of the racetrack. Just gets into the wall and gets the right rear. Man, oh man. Almost went out of the park, much like what we saw last night with Devin Borden.
And how about the heads-up driving by the rest of the field, not getting into him, right?
They slowed down quick.
The tail tank being ripped off, and that was a full fuel load, so hence why all the fuel ran down the banking in corner number 4, but they already got the car getting hooked up to the wrecker, and the track crew is out there as well.
So yeah, certainly going to take a lot of different things to clean up all of that fuel. Is a good point by you there. We hadn't even made it a lap into the race, so completely full fuel load. Here's another look at it. The replay. He's going to be on the very top, first car on the very top by the wall. Going to hook the cushion there, and then kind of starts to run parallel with the wall right there at the bottom side of the car. Comes down pretty hard right there. Car is absolutely mangled. And, you know, that was the first lap for Corey in a while. I mean, he goes into the corner, maybe getting a little rambunctious there into the first corner, the first time into turns 3 and 4. Hasn't been on the racetrack since that heat race a couple of hours ago. And kind of launched it off in there, trying to make up some ground early. And it certainly cost him, as that car is getting towed back to the Jason Myers Racing 14 trailer. Certainly make sure to buy those tickets online. You could potentially be the Durst Dice Roller. Dice Roll driver Rico going to start from that 3rd spot as we got the lights out. We're going to try it again. Complete restart. Still 50 long laps to go. We'll continue on with 27 of the best 410 sprint car drivers on the planet. Pace truck will dive into the infield on the back straightaway. Dewease and Stutts. Stutts hoping for a better start this time. That initial one, he was 4th by the time they got to the back straightaway. So looking to have TJ get up there and get a little bit better of a restart here, as he faces off against one of the drivers with so many wins, so many trophies, and so many accolades here at this racetrack. We go to the green, the chalk stripe. We're back underway, the Tuscarora 50.
Lance Dewease will lead him in the turns number 1 and 2. Freddie Rahmer down low. He's right there with Rico Abreu. They drag race for second off the turn.
Yes, they do. Rahmer's going to have that second spot down the back straightaway. Rico going to work through the middle in car number 24. TJ Stutts runs in the 4th spot, and 5th at this point in time is the 67 of Justin Whittall.
So we will complete lap number 1 in the 57th running of the Tuscarora 50. Let's look at Anthony Macri to the outside of Justin Whittall. He'll break into 5th.
Macri on the move early. Started 10th, already up +5 in 1 lap. And now Macri, the next car he will encounter is the 11 of TJ Stutts. Looks like Macri not venturing up to the top in turns 3 and 4. Remember, we talked about that before the race started. You've got to keep your car around and together intact for 50 long laps around this place. So I don't expect to see him doing that the entire way.
And remember, it's a race to the halfway point, right? It's a race to the break right now. You got to just pace yourself, hit your marks, let the setup come to you.
Absolutely. Rico's now closing in on Lance Dewease. Abreu's taking the 24 car up to the top side of the Speedway. Might see a new race leader the next time by at the start-finish line. Abreu within 2 car lengths down the back straightaway. Dewease going to take his 12 car back to the bottom in turns 3 and 4. Rico going to run the middle. Who's going to have the race lead off in turn number 4? Looks like Dewease has still got it, but Abreu's car is coming to life.
Lance Dewease, Rico Abreu, nose to tail for the lead. Abreu gonna work the top shelf once again, has a run on Dewease, but he bangs the guardrail off of corner number 2.
Here comes Rico down the backstretch within a car length, half a car length is Dewease. You know where that car is going to go. It's going to stick right around the bottom here of the Port Royal Speedway, a place that he's won so many races from, and Abreu's just going to stick with him. They both know they're racing to lap 25 at the halfway break, but if Rico can be in the lead, he would certainly enjoy that, as he gets a close call right there. Had to turn the car hard to the left to keep it out of the wall.
So Lance Dewease and Rico Abreu starting to separate themselves from the field, but they can already start to see the tail end of this field as well as you come around, and we'll have 44 laps to go.
Mostly single file throughout the top 10. We've got a side-by-side battle for maybe the 11th position as Tyler Courtney and Chase Dietz went at it, but Dietz has the spot down into turn number 1. So most cars are single file throughout the field, looking for some guys coming from the back, making their way forward. One of them may be Zeb Wise, as he's working the outside of the racetrack, much like your second place car, Rico Abreu.
So the top 5 looks like this. Lance Dewease, your leader, running second. Rico Abreu, Freddie Rahmer third, TJ Stutts fourth, and Anthony Macri still in fifth.
We've got traffic up the road for Dewease, and they are all running in his line as they work off the 4th corner. Going to encounter those lap cars within the next 2 laps or so. The first one is Jacob Allen, then Lucas Wolfe, and then the defending Tuscarora 50 winner Brian Brown. Dewease now surging around a little bit, works a little bit higher off the 2nd corner. Abreu still right there within 5 car lengths, but traffic is up ahead.
Rico, like you said, Chase, starting to search, working the middle side, and it is working. Once again, he pulls to the back bumper of Lance Dewease. Lance Dewease still working the bottom side, but here comes another run by Rico Abreu.
Dewease now catching up to Jacob Allen within 3 car lengths of the lap traffic. Abreu 4 car lengths behind Dewease. Dewease going to have to work a lane off the bottom to get around the lap car. Abreu going to fill in that spot that Dewease just evacuated. Down the front straightaway, we're side by side, but Dewease still has the lead at the race at the start-finish line.
And they are right there with the lap cars, with Jacob Allen running where Lance Dewease was, and Lance now has to go right through the middle as TJ Stutts closing in on Freddie Rahmer. That is a battle starting to shape up for the final podium spot.
Yeah, Stutts and Macri both 4/10 faster than the top 3 cars as Dewease is working into more traffic as he got the 5W Lucas Wolfe, the 21 of Brian Brown battling side by side in front of him. Now they get single filed out. Abreu takes that car right back to the outside and closes in once again, but Rico knows it's a long race. Not going to push the issue early in this one.
No, you got to save your stuff, and like you said, you just got to make it to the break in this one. As we're starting to get closer to that break, we have 38 laps to go. And now with your leaders, both in lap traffic, Freddie Rahmer, TJ Stutts, Anthony Macri also closing in on your top 2 cars.
TJ Stutts makes the move for the 3rd spot, move TJ Stutts back into the podium position. He gets by Freddie Rahmer off the 2nd corner. Stutts' wing is in the trunk, and he is trying to make some ground up here. The last time by, he was 0.6 of a second faster than your race leader as Dewease makes it by a slower car, Lucas Wolfe.
A lot of sparks coming out of the rear end of Anthony Macri's machine. Just trying to keep pace with Freddie Rahmer, who runs in 4th. Now Macri looks to the inside in turn 3.
Yeah, a ton of sparks coming out of the back of that race car from the brake rotor, and he's going to make it by the 51 car of Freddie Rahmer. Rahmer to cross back to the inside, but Anthony Macri has moved his car up into the 4th position with still a long ways to go, 36 to go. And up front, it's been a seesaw battle back and forth as Abreu closes in. He loses ground, closes back in. He's doing it once again. Looking to the outside, might have new leader off the 4th corner as Abreu drives it in deep into 3 and 4.
Rico to the outside. He will take the lead and be our new leader with 35 laps to go.
Rico Abreu leads lap number 15. Back to the outside of the racetrack in turn number 2 as Lance Dewease draws to the left rear, but Abreu a little momentum to clear himself down into turn 3. Here comes TJ Stutts. Here comes Anthony Macri. The top 4 all of a sudden all over each other. They cannot get by the 21 of Brian Brown. Abreu looks to the inside. Will put the 21 car by the wayside.
Here comes TJ Stutts right through the middle, looking to go around Lance Dewease. Nothing there yet. He's going to bring Anthony Macri with him as Lance Dewease, TJ Stutts nose to tail for second.
Stutts' car looks fantastic, but now he gets passed on the inside. The 39M car of Anthony Macri's up into 3rd, and looking at Dewease for 2nd. Anthony Macri is coming to life, and he's not even on the top of the racetrack yet early. He's still pacing himself. He's on the top in 1 and 2, bottom in 3 and 4. They're trying to go 3 wide almost for that 2nd spot, as there goes TJ Stutts to P2.
And he's going to try to bring Anthony Macri with him. Now Lance Dewease back in the 4th. You got to think, is something mechanically going wrong with Dewease's machine?
Oh boy, TJ Stutts looks very, very good right now in car number 11. He's got the wing pulled back. He's running it right through the middle, and he's making up time on Rico Abreu. That time by, he was a 10th faster. He's got to get by the 21 car of Brian Brown to continue to close in, but Stutts is in a very good spot for the halfway break in this race.
31 laps to go this time by. Rico Abreu starting to stretch things out here as we approach the break in this one. As now Macri, he'll bang the boards there in turn 2. He's going to let the bottom open there for Lance Dewease.
It did not work out for Macri there. He pulled it off the cushion and tried to drive it down the hill, so Macri may be feeling things out midway through this race. We're coming up to 30 laps to go. 5 away from the halfway break here at the Port Royal Speedway. Rico Abreu's lead the last time by 1.7 seconds as he continues to try and get up to the lap cars, but really the lap cars are just as fast as your race leader. Abreu's not being able to close in on Brett Marks or Corey Eliason up ahead of of him.
And Logan Wagner also makes the pass on Justin Whittall. So Wagner now breaks into the top 5 as we have 30 make that 29 laps to go.
Abreu now they're side by side in front of him. Brent Marks and Corey Eliason, but Rico, he knows what's going on here. He's got plenty of time to make some moves and stay patient as Macri's looking to catch up to the 11 of TJ Stutts. Justin Whittall back underneath of Logan Wagner in turns 3 and 4. They race side by side almost off the corner for the 5th position.
Battle for the runner-up spot once again between TJ Stutts and Macri. Stutts starting to run through the middle to where his entry into the corner is a little wider than what Anthony Macri is, but he diamonds the corner off of 4.
Certainly does. We're closing in on that halfway point here in the Tuscarora 52 laps away from lap number 25, and the halfway signal as Abreu is on the back bumper of Brent Marks as he works back into turn number 3. Rico trying to put another lap car between himself and TJ Stutts. This time by will be almost to the halfway signal, 1 lap shy as Abreu comes across the line.
Still 1 lap car in between Rico Abreu and TJ Stutts. Now another run by Macri down low. That's a battle for second. Macri peeks to the inside. Still Stutts hanging on to second.
Yeah, TJ was half a second faster than Rico the last time by. So TJ Stutts, if they can dial that car in a little bit better during the halfway break, he could be a serious threat for the win here by the end of the Tuscarora 50. TJ Stutts' car is extremely good here as he still is trying to find a way by the 21 of Brian Brown. Cars starting to work off the bottom a little bit there. The 69K Logan Wagner tried the top back there in the 5th position.
And the caution flag is going to come out. This is going to be the mandatory break here at the halfway point.
And you can tell that these guys are taking it easy, right? They are not pushing the issue. They're not going balls to the wall. They're not at 110%. They know this is a long race. The car has got to stay together. The right rear, all the suspension back there has got to stay together. They're not pounding the wall down. But now we have a main event left, 25 laps left like we saw for the last 2 nights. A feature is all that remains here at the Tuscarora 50, basically a normal feature that we'd see here at Port Royal. And so that's when the gloves will come off. You'll see guys going up to that top side and making moves. Abreu, you saw him run on the top early, but then he brought it down to the bottom, Earl, knowing that this is the deal, that he's got to do this and keep his car alive.
And tire wear still looks good as I'm looking at the right rear tire of Rico Abreu's machine. It still looks good, but Chase, when we get the driver stopped here on the front straightaway, communication is key, right? You got to tell your crew chief and your crew members what you need for the final 25 laps.
Well, and luckily for Rico, he's got a Hall of Fame crew chief to help him out with Ricky Warner. He's been in this situation plenty of times and knows what to do. If its driver says, hey, I'm loose, he knows what to do. If I'm tight, hey, let me just crank on this a little bit for you and we'll get you dialed in. So he's got one of the best in the business to help him get a little bit better here for the remaining 25 laps of the race. Stutts 2nd, Macri 3rd, Dewease falls to 4th. And 5th is Logan Wagner here at the halfway signal. Behind them, you got Justin Whittall, Freddie Rahmer. Parker Price Miller is up into the 8th position. So a good run here for PPM from 15th up to 8th. Justin Peck 9th, and Chase Dietz currently rounds out the top 10. As you see the drivers now coming to a stop on the front straightaway. And in just a moment, as soon as they're all stopped, the crew members, the mules, and all that stuff will come onto the racetrack, and it'll be an open red flag condition, no changing of the tires. If you change a tire, you're going to the tail. So no tires can be changed during this halfway break here at the Tuscarora 50. Open red is going to be 3 minutes in distance. 3 minutes is the length of the open red. So here comes all of the drivers, or not all the drivers, but all the crews coming onto the racetrack. And they have 3 minutes to put fuel in them and make any kind of adjustments they want besides changing that tire.
Chase, I think you were maybe perhaps talking about Ricky Warner and the team for Rico Abreu Racing and having somebody that can really help Rico make this car what he needs it to be. Earlier in the evening, right after hot laps, Ricky Warner was leaned into the cockpit of the number 24 shoprico.com entry. And you can just tell, Rico talks about it all the time, but he uses Ricky Warner not just as a technical ally and a crew chief for the setup of his race car. He relies on Ricky Warner for help with racecraft. That's what Rico told us back in Skagit. Ricky Warner is like a coach to Rico in this number 24. They've just talked for a very short few moments here on the end of the front straightaway. We'll see if they make any big adjustments. Everybody's going to go ahead and start putting fuel in, but with not that much time, adjustments will be a premium. If you're going to make something, it can't take too long.
You know, Rico did obviously look good there. He led a ton of laps before this halfway break, but I don't, and who knows how much he was pushing it there, Earl, if he was really on the hammer that much. But TJ Stutts and Anthony Macri were running better lap times for a majority of the last, half of that 25-lap session there. So if Rico was taking it easy, then these guys might be in trouble. But Stutts and Macri certainly had the pace and the ability to keep up with him there.
Brad Strasser, you're also working the front straightaway as well. What are you starting to hear down there?
Yeah, I talked to Justin Whittall and Logan Wagner down here. Both of them just saying they're going to lock it in. They feel like they like their cars where they're at, top 5 on back. But, I mean, looking at the eyes of the 69K of Logan Wagner, he is locked in trying to get his second Tuscarora 50, guys.
Thank you very much, Brad. Rico with the lead would be his first ever Port Royal Speedway win, and if he can hang on, he would win the Durst Dice Roll for the 9th time in 2024, bumping that total up to $47,000. And we mentioned it yesterday on the pre-race show. The odds of that hitting are every 5 1/4 races. And if it hits tonight, that's a little bit, that changes the trend a little bit there, Earl. It might go down to maybe 4 3/4 races.
Guys, quick update. Rico Abreu discussing with Ricky Warner for not very long, like we talked about, and that's because no changes coming on that shoprico.com. Number 24, Rico Abreu and Ricky putting their heads together. They came out of the gates with a setup they like, so no changes going on there. I'm going to quickly make my way down to Parker Price Miller, who sits in the 8th position after coming from 15th on the starting grid, joined by another full-time high roller, Justin Peck, in that Buick Motorsports number 13. He started 14th. He's up to 9th. We'll see if those guys are putting the finishing touches on any adjustments.
All right, so Parker Price Miller, certainly a guy that is moving forward very nicely in this main event in that number 9P car, and we'll see what they do down there. He's got the chief head mechanic spinning the wrenches on that thing, Zach Hampton. So we'll see if, there's Hampton right there, poking his head in and asking him, hey, you need anything changed on this thing? Oh, yeah, what about this? So you need a bottle of water, or you need a cheeseburger, or what? Nope, he's going to pull the wrenches out, and he's going to adjust a couple more things on there. That is Zach Hampton, and we're hoping to see him at Eldora Speedway behind the wheel of his own 35 car for the 4 Crown Nationals in about 2 weeks. But Parker looking pretty solid early on in this feature event. Curious to see what they do with Macri's car as well, Tony.
Chase just checked in with Justin Peck and his team, Jake Helsel and Sean Strasbaugh, a couple of the crew guys. Sean Strasbaugh, the crew chief, calling the shots for this Pella number 13. No adjustments, taking a look at air pressure. They are concerned about tire wear as these next 25 laps click off, and you know they cannot be the only team down here thinking that.
And just to tag in there off of what Tony just said, with the different teams I've talked to, Dylan Cisney, Parker Price Miller, Chase Dietz, the general theme is no changes. It is survival for the last 25 laps. They're really worried about the tire wear, what their cars are going to do over these last 25 laps, and keeping it all in one piece.
It's certainly interesting to hear that none of these guys are really wanting any wholesale changes there, Tony.
No, there's no wholesale changes going on down here at the number 87 of Aaron Reutzel. I don't know if you guys noticed any contact out on the track, but they're making a nose wing repair to the front left corner of Aaron Reutzel's number 87. There is duct tape, and I'm not sure if we missed any hammering or not, but the end plate, the side panel rather, on the left-hand side of the nose wing for Reutzel, getting duct tape applied to it here right in the last couple seconds of this open red. I don't know, did you guys see any contact for Reutzel early in that first 25-lap run?
I personally did not. He started way back in 20th, so would not be shocked at all if he did maybe get into somebody back there. It was a hornet's nest the first 3 or so laps in the mid-pack. Reutzel has gone +6 up to the 14th position in that 87 car. Sounds like we're going green the next time by. Abreu, Stutts, and Macri, and Dewease, and Wagner. Now we're really going to see, Earl, what this track has, what these drivers have, because, well, they knew that this break was coming. They knew they needed to get to the end of this race. They knew they needed to get to the halfway point. And now I think the gloves are about to come off.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, this is a regular feature now, 25 laps to distance. Drivers are going to let it all hang out. Will there be desperate moves made here in the final half of this race?
The money's obviously fantastic, but I just think the prestige as well for some of these guys, just to add their name to that list is equally as important, in my opinion.
So the John Schaefer Dodge Pace Truck ducks into the field. Ladies and gentlemen, the final 25 laps coming at you. Rico Abreu at the point, gets back on the accelerator, and we are back underway.
Final 25 laps of the Tuscarora 50, about to hit you right in the face here as Abreu works into turn number 1 right around the bottom, as does Stutts. Macri, the first car to work out of line was Lance Dewease. He runs the middle, trying to build momentum and catch up to Macri. He runs 4th, and Logan Wagner is 5th.
Lance Dewease right through the middle, looking to break back into the podium, draws alongside Macri. They drag race down to the turn. Now look to the inside in turn 1.
Big peel down right there from Lance Dewease, but he gets cut off entering to turn number 1 as Macri saw him coming and started to kind of go down there and break the momentum off the number 12 car for Lance Dewease. Slots back into the 4th position. Most cars right now, right around the bottom. We'll see who's the first one to break out of line and start running the top side of the racetrack early.
And if we go green the rest of the way, are we going to get back into lap traffic as well, as Rico Abreu already out to a 1.5 second leading car number 24.
Yeah, Abreu's car is very good, but we did see TJ Stutts' car before that halfway break. It was coming to life there in the last 8 or so laps. So if TJ can stay close when they get the traffic and his car is that good, maybe he can become a factor for the win here tonight at the Tuscarora 50.
I start to see Aaron Reutzel. He's starting to try to make something happen through the middle. Now just up right behind Chase Dietz, but there goes Dylan Cisney. He'll look to the outside of the 7BC of Tyler Courtney. Nothing there.
Only car on the top of the racetrack in 1 and 2 is Corey Eliason. He's running way back at about the 22nd position the last time by the line. So Eliason is out there just trying to make something happen. It's not working for him, and with that going on, with this long line of cars, 27 strong, traffic is going to come into play pretty quickly for Abreu. He's already on the same straightaway as the back of the field.
So I'm looking throughout the field, and I don't know if something is wrong with Tyler Courtney's machine or if he has a tire starting to go down, but he cannot just get off the corner, and he's lost about a handful of spots.
Yeah, he's definitely fallen back through the field as Zeb Wise is going to try and look to the inside of him entering the first corner, but Tyler Courtney's able to hold him off. That car is so sideways on the entrance to the corner. There may be something wrong, like you said there, Earl. He's holding up the guys behind him, so Sunshine may have an issue here on the back straightaway.
And now there goes Michael Walter with the move on the outside of Zeb Wise. So already getting into lap traffic is going to be Rico Abreu as we have 18 laps to go in the Tuscarora 50.
Now Walter and Wise, well not Wise, but Walter makes the move on Tyler Courtney. There goes Zeb Wise as well. So Sunshine, and he's going to come to a stop, or at least he's got an issue. He gets back up to speed now as Abreu's approaching him from behind. The number 12 car, Blaine Heimbach, the first car to go a lap down from your race leader.
Rico Abreu in heavy lap traffic, and Tyler Courtney is off the pace there in turn number 4. He is going to draw the caution flag as here comes TJ Stutts to the inside, and there it is.
Yeah, don't see any tires being down on Tyler Courtney's car right now. So could be some kind of other issue there as he's going to make his way to the rod end supply work area. Will not have any guaranteed time down there. The crew has a tire in their hand, but we just saw him go by the front stretch here, Earl. He did not have a flat tire.
No, he did not, so not quite sure what is wrong with the NOS Energy Drink 7BC. He'll come down to our pit reporters here on the inside of the infield.
So Tyler Courtney going to make his way to the rod and supply work area. Been a tough couple of races here for Sunshine. Has lost wholesale ground in the championship point standings, Tony, as he's going to make his way to you.
Ty Wolfgang, Zane Reese, members of Brad Sweet's number 49 team jump in to help Clausen Marshall crew members. Everybody grabs a tire, checks, and confirms air is still in both rear Hoosier tires. It is, in fact, not a left rear down. They're going to pull the right rear wheel cover off and change it. They'll take the bleeder out. They're going to jack the car up, take the right front out. They're going to check suspension here. They've got the new right rear on. It seems like they're going to do it just to be safe.
We're coming back to the green. No guaranteed time down in the rod and supply work areas. Rico makes his way back into turn number 1. He's closing in on 15 laps to go for that number 24 car.
What a great restart by Rico Abreu as he really distanced himself from the field. He already has a 15 car length lead. TJ Stutts still in second. Anthony Macri in third.
Aaron Reutzel's making some moves around the outside. Got by Chase Dietz and now working on a 13 of Justin Peck down the front stretch. Now Reutzel looks inside but gets cut off by Peck. Reutzel from from 20th and into the top 10 now.
And now you saw it. Oh, Reutzel got into the wall there on the bottom side in turn 2. He's going to lose 2 spots as Chase Dietz and Cisney gets by.
You can see that the left front tire is white-walled there from when he hit that inside wall, so a close call there for Aaron Reutzel. Gets back by Cisney down the front straightaway, but that cost him pretty big. He lost a top 10 position. Now got to try and get back by Chase Dietz.
Rico Abreu is out to a straightaway lead and then some in this one. You gotta start to worry about that with that big of a lead. How much tire is he using up?
He's got to know that he's got a pretty good lead. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody throwing some hand signals or something to him as we got a race for second. Stutts trying to hold off Macri. TJ Stutts' wing still way in the trunk here as Macri is trying to find a way by him. Do we see that 39M car just try to do something on the top side of this racetrack here, or does he stick it down low the rest of the way?
Macri still works the bottom side, follows Stutts through the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Lance Dewease still in 4th. Logan Wagner in 5th.
Abreu, the last time by was a 5.5 second advantage with 12 laps to go. Absolutely dominating performance from Abreu. This time by, the lead has now grown to 6.1 seconds as Lynch pulls into the infield.
I was going to say Lynch retiring from this feature event. Wow, yeah, Abreu over a 6-second lead in this one, absolutely destroying his competition.
Next time by will be 10 laps to go for Rico Abreu. Got the biggest win of his career last Saturday night at the Sage Fruit Skagit Nationals, a win worth over $100,000. Could he back it up with the second biggest win of his career just a week later, Earl?
10 laps to go, and now Rico Abreu approaches slower cars once again. Just absolutely driving clinic that Rico is putting on right now.
He makes his way by the slower car, Blaine Heimbach. The last time by that Abreu came down the front straightaway, Zach Middlebrooks, crew member, was telling him to back it down. He was throwing all kinds of signals at him, just telling him to back it down, man. You don't need to be pushing it that hard. Race for second. Macri to the left rear of TJ Stutts, but Stutts doing a perfect job of keeping that car pinned to the bottom.
Yeah, Stutts, he's not going to move and leave the bottom. If Macri wants that second spot, he's going to have to pull some kind of miracle or just plain out move TJ Stutts in this one.
He really is, and it's going to be tough to do that as Abreu now working into some more lap cars. The 48 of Danny Dietrich, the 8 of Eliason, the 19 of Marks lie ahead for him. Going to be tough to get by some of those cars down there, Earl. There are no slouches. A couple of them have a couple of wins around this place.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Speaking of that, the driver right in front of him was able to take home $75,000 early in the year, and you know, Danny Dietrich, the car in front of Rico Abreu, isn't exactly just going to pull over and let him go by.
Certainly isn't. Abreu leads it. Stutts is second. Macri is third. Dewease runs fourth. Logan Wagner fifth. Justin Whittall is sixth. Seventh is Freddie Rahmer. Eighth is Parker Price Miller. And ninth, Justin Peck. And 10th is Chase Dietz as they run with 7 laps to go.
Make it 6 laps to go this time by. And still, Rico Abreu out to a healthy lead in this one. We'll look at the clock, and it's still 4.4 seconds.
You can certainly tell that Abreu's kind of backed the pace down, and Stutts has closed the gap, but it's going to be too little too late. He's coming around for 5 laps to go. Stutts has taken nearly 2 seconds off the advantage as Abreu continues to work through thick lap traffic. 5 laps to go for Rico Abreu. His first ever Port Royal Speedway win is just a couple miles away.
Will make his way underneath the Bobby Ray Hall scoreboard as still Macri trying to find a way around TJ Stutts for the runner-up spot. 4 laps to go for Rico Abreu.
Abreu still right there, just biding his time. He knows he doesn't need to do anything crazy here. He's got a pretty good gap. That time now it's just down to 3.5 seconds. If there was 15 laps to go, I might be starting to get excited there, Earl, but 3.5 seconds in 4 laps is going to be tough to do for TJ Stutts.
Yeah, Rico just hitting his marks right now as he will come back to the start-finish line. 3 laps to go. Yeah, you could say TJ Stutts closing in. It's down to 2.9 seconds, but still it's going to be too little too late.
He's got the rod.
And now Lance Dewease off the pace in corner number 2. Lance Dewease comes to a stop.
Blown right rear. Blown right rear on Dewease's car, I believe. We'll have to wait and see here if that is indeed the case for Lance Dewease as that car stops in the second corner.
So change of events here.
Certainly is.
Yeah, 3 laps to go. The caution flag waves.
I mean, Earl, If you're Anthony Macri,
right,
you literally have to go to the top on this restart.
Yep.
You have to, or a guy behind him. I mean, Wagner's up to 4th now. Whittall's going to be in 5th. If I'm anybody behind Rico right now, I mean, maybe TJ, I'd stay, behind him in case he misses the bottom or something.
Right.
If I'm anybody 3rd on back, I'm throwing the kitchen sink out of here and just trying to pull off a Hail Mary.
Yeah, you got to sell out, right?
Absolutely.
You just cannot run the bottom. You have to try something.
We're going back to green quickly here as the orange cone on the front stretch indicating you cannot pass or hit that cone or you will be docked. Who will make a move with 3 laps to go? A little wrench thrown in the plans of Rico Abreu. Can he hold on for his first ever Port Royal Speedway win? And 57 make it 60 grand with the Durst Dice Roll money. It's Abreu, Stutts, Macri, Wagner, and Whittall down to turn number 4, back underway.
What happens in turns 1 and 2? Great restart once again by Rico Abreu. As now Stutts follows him through, so does Anthony Macri on the bottom.
Yep, everybody's sticking it around the bottom, but we did see Lance Dewease with a flat right rear, and you got to keep that in mind as well. Will anybody have more tire? There's one right there. Is the 26 of Zeb Wise is going to blow a tire in turn 2, and he is not. Actually, he might. He's going to make it. Zeb Wise will make it to the infield. We stay green.
So we stay green. 2 laps to go. Once again, Rico Abreu extending his lead. Chase Rodman, he is going to see the white flag this time by.
1 lap to go for Rico Abreu. Can the tire hang on for another half mile around the Speed Palace? If it does, it would be his first ever Port Royal Speedway win. It would be his 3rd win in 8 days. It would be a win worth $60,000 with the Durst Dice Roll money coming off of turn number 4. How about it? First time Tuscarora 50 winner. Rico Abreu gets the job done. 2nd goes to TJ Stutts. 3rd, Anthony Macri. 4th to Logan Wagner. And 5th goes to Justin Whittall. Rico Abreu, first time Tuscarora 50 winner, and he does it from the 3rd spot. Another Durst Dice Roll has been hit here tonight. TJ Stutts finishes in 2nd, 3rd to Anthony Macri, 4th to Logan Wagner, and 5th goes to Justin Whittall. Freddie Rahmer finishes up in 6th, 7th goes to Parker Price Miller, 8th to Justin Peck, 9th goes to Chase Dietz, and Aaron Reutzel finishes out inside the top 10 in car number 87. Dylan Cisney, Mike Wagner, Brad Sweet, Michael Walter, Brent Marks. Then you got James McFadden, Corey Eliason, Troy Wagaman Jr., Danny Dietrich, and Blaine Heimbach, the top 20. Behind them, Zeb Wise, Lance Dewease, Cy Lynch, Tyler Courtney, Brian Brown, Lucas Wolfe, Jacob Allen, and Corey Day round out the 28-car field here tonight. Climbing out of the Mesilla Valley Transportation, shoprico.com, Rothwell High number 24 car. He's got the Kubota Highland Racing Victory Lane hat, the Hoosier Tire neckband. He'll also take a hold of the Sunoco Fuels checkered flag as the hugs come in. He's a first-time Port Royal Speedway winner and a first-time Tuscarora 50 winner. How about it, Pennsylvania? It's Rico Abreu. 100 grand last Saturday, 57 grand tonight. This guy is red hot, and Zach Middlebrooks makes the catch as Rico jumps off the top bling, and he'll make his way around the front of the race car to talk with Tony Laporta.
A pretty big scene down here in Whiskey Myers Victory Lane for the driver who carries Whiskey Myers on his race car all season long. You know, we joked back at Skagit. I watched Ricky Warner watch his race car go across the finish line, and there wasn't much of a reaction. Tonight, the crew had a much different reaction as Rico Abreu shows off that right rear. $57,000, but you had your crew, your team, and about everybody else here in the infield holding their breath. What were those last laps like?
Just tricky. Race management-wise, I knew it was a little aggressive on tires, and I was just really trying to be disciplined with lap traffic and my foot on the throttle pedal and just not overdriving the entry of the corners and letting that tire slip at all, you know. And I could feel it getting, you know, the blocks wearing off each corner, and you know, you just wait when you really detail. You got some time out there, a 50-lap race to break your car down, and just super thankful for Ricky Warner. You know, I feel like he's kind of considered posse, being from Carlisle and his family being from Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania. So just thank all you fans for coming out, man. This place is, it's such a progress every year what Steve Simley and the other Steve do to this place, to get this facility and generate the revenue back in. Not a lot of fairgrounds get that opportunity to have people that loyal and create events like this to generate revenue. And, it's very fortunate for them to accept a high limit race at these crown jewel events that they put on every year.
Steve Steinley and Steve O'Neill, the lead promoter here at Port Royal, who you're talking about, who do such a great job with these big events at the Port Royal Speedway. A win just 1 week ago in Northwestern Washington at a very different racetrack at the Skagit Speedway. A cross-country trip, you lose the engine in the race car hauler, then you come here to the Speed Palace, which earns its nickname for being so fast. I don't know if it's how, but yeah, how are you able to be so versatile with your race car and with your right foot at all these different tracks and stay out on top?
Just the chemistry in our team, Tony. At the end of the day, this is our third year together, working together, and I got the best guys in the business when it comes to just preparing these race cars and just fine-tuning them when it counts. 50-lap race, I knew, Lance was going to set a pace there and not get too aggressive with his car and just kind of paced off of him, and I knew the 69K was going to be coming, so it was just a matter of these races. We've been in position so many times and just allowing them to play out and just allow things to unfold and let them come to you. You race the racetrack. That's the biggest thing. Any young kid that's ever came up to me and asked for advice, and I tell them the biggest things is finish all the races and just race the racetrack. And that's what my team and I talk about every night when we prepare these race cars to come out here.
Man, finish all the races. It came close. You had everybody in this infield holding their breath, hoping that Hoosier tire would hold all its breath. You were the Durst Dice Roll driver, so you earned yourself and Tom Carver an additional $1,500, so he's going to owe you a little bit of that later on. But just when Ricky Warner and you get your heads together during that fuel stop, no changes. Now, you weren't the only driver that made no changes, but was that just a sign of confidence in your race car?
Just dissecting it really and understanding what it needs. I mean, tonight in the heat races and the beginning of the features, the slickest this surface is going to get. So you got to be careful over tightening your car and understanding your balance. I've learned a lot from, guys like Brad Sweet, Donnie Schatz, just understanding how they race and allow these races to play out. 50 laps is a long race for us. So just happy to be up here. Happy for my guys, man. These guys work hard. They've had a big week coming from West Coast to East Coast, over 45 hours of driving within, the week here. And to end it like this and to get a week off and get prepared for Lernerville is a big thing for our team, and all of our partners that are associated with this team. The Hunt family, El Bandito, Yankee Tequila, Royal Jones, has come on board this year. He helps so many teams in the industry, which is really exciting to see him a part of, be so versatile in his partnerships. And he races at Vadu Speedway himself and watches all my races and sends me a nice message, when we have our ups and downs throughout the year. So it's really cool to see those partners on board paying attention. Obviously my family is a big part of my career to where I'm at today. My wife, Megan, unbelievable with, the merchandising side of our brand, and just super appreciative of all you Pennsylvania fans. Every year we come into here, you guys are so excited. You're the most loyal fans in the world. I've been racing here for 13 years now, coming to the state of Pennsylvania and racing, and I get excited every time. I grip that steering wheel a little bit tighter when we get on I-70 and come into the state and try to put a whooping on the posse.
Well, Brad Sweet talked about coming in here and taking some Pennsylvania money. I think he thought it was going to be him, the high roller, standing in victory lane doing, but instead it's you, the high roller, that takes some Pennsylvania money. Finally, as a winner with Kubota High Limit Racing in 2024, anytime a high roller scores a win, you get to send $1,000 of an angel donor's money to any charity of your choice. With your win here tonight, what charity are you supporting?
Just so amazing what High Limit and the Angel Donor have done for the series and for all these foundations that need it most deserving. My foundation's a family friend of ours, Jack Superhero Foundation. Someone that's being treated for neuromuscular disease, and they've got to know us. We've got to know the family from Montana in the cattle business, and just, have been fans of my race team throughout the years, and, found this foundation that really fits, what I believe in. And, I've always said, since I started winning these high limit races, I'm going to match that $1,000. I know Brian Hankins is going to match that $1,000. I know Bear Printing, they're on my car tonight from Pennsylvania. They told me tonight if I was going to win the race that they're going to match that $1,000. Arc Zone is going to match that $1,000. And so I told them that my goal was to get to, every time we won a race, $10,000, and I know we're getting close.
For $57,000 and a whole lot of donations, your winner is Rico Abreu.
Well, Tony, congrats to Rico. So you make your way over to TJ Stutts with a second-place finish. His career year continues. Has 3 wins at the Grove this year, and this second-place finish is going to put him over $100,000 in earnings on the year. A great run for TJ down there.
I'll pick this one up, Chase, for you. With TJ Stutts here, picking up the second-place finish here tonight. $20,000 going to your pocket, TJ. It's been a good year for you. Maybe not the track you wanted to see, but it has to feel pretty good to put it in second place against this competition.
Yeah, like I said, this was a bare frame last night. We were so horrible. We went home and built another car. Didn't bring our typical Port Royal deal here, and after the red, I kept looking at tires, and I've watched Lance, I've watched Kreitz win this place on a tire, so I went as slow as I possibly could, not get run over, and we still got tread. Rico's got cords hanging out, and we just $55,000 mistake. I guess we should have run a little harder, but I didn't think them guys would make it.
And early on in the first 25, Macri did dip below you there in turns 3 and 4. You were able to get him back. So, I mean, this wasn't just a full matter of just kind of staying where you are. You had to hold off Macri throughout that one. Kind of take us through the whole 50 laps and staying where you were.
Well, I actually probably got myself in trouble early because, as I say, you watch this place and everybody goes so hard, and I've watched so many guys drive away at the beginning and get run over at the end, and probably about lap 15 there, I probably should have drove a little harder because I felt like I was too Lance, I was too Rico, and all I had to do was get down to the rubber, and I just didn't get by him. I thought we were good enough, so I just can't thank my guys enough, Village Square, everybody that does everything for this. I told Mom 2017 for the Outlaw Show. I was hoping she doesn't have a stroke back here. That's like winning the lottery to a little guy like us, so I can't thank my kids and Rusty and everybody. Greg Plank, it takes a lot of people to make this happen.
Well, congratulations on a great run.
Thank you.
TJ Stutts, tonight's second-place finisher.
We're still over here in Victory Lane getting ready to check in with Sandy Klein, who's getting ready to pull our Warrior Award for the night. This is an additional $1,000 thanks to JNS Classics that is going to go to one random driver in the field. Number 17, the 17th place finisher is Corey Eliason, an additional $1,000. And then we've got our 50-50 ticket here.
$11,204.
$11,204 up for grabs here, and it's a, let's call that lavender. That's a light purple ticket. It is number 579911. Again, a light purple ticket, 579911. Final call, purple ticket, 579911. You can pick that up at the Speedway office. Rico Abreu continues to celebrate here in Whiskey Myers Victory Lane. You heard Brad Strasser check in with TJ Stutts, and it sounds like he is with Anthony Macri, your third place finisher.
Thanks, Tony. And with Anthony Macri, third place tonight, a tough one here tonight. They talked going into that last restart, wondering if maybe you would try the top to try to make something happen for $57,000. Kind of take us through those last couple laps on what was a challenging race.
Yeah, I wasn't getting off the bottom. No matter how much the race paid, you know, the top was obviously a dead zone, and frankly, I think I would have had to be pretty stupid to go up there. So, you know, I was going to try to push the SU on TJ there, but third's better than another trashed race car. So we'll live to fight another day and finish third. And you know, congrats to Rico. I mean, they left us in the dust every time we went back green, but I can't thank my guys enough. I mean, they worked really late last night to get last night's car torn apart and, you know, get this thing ready for tonight. So I can't thank my sponsors enough, and my parents and my girlfriend back there selling T-shirts, and just everybody involved in this thing. It's been a grueling weekend, and, you know, we'll salvage a third and move on to the next one.
Anthony Macri, tonight's third place finisher in the 57th annual Tuscarora 50.